Phillip, welcome back, my friend.
How you doing, Chris?
Absolutely amazing, man. I'm sitting down, getting ready to have this proper mega chat with one of my friends, bro. Let's go, right?
Oh yeah,
And we get to hang out this weekend coming up too, but we'll definitely get to that.
yeah, that's gonna be a good time.
Absolutely it is, dude. So we're here, obviously, to get what a dad's real perspective is on developing a racer from a child to a racer, right? And then obviously being in what it's actually like being in the paddock and preparing your own kid's race bike and all the stress and trials and tribulations that go along with it. And start from the very beginning, man, because SFL Mini GP has been huge in a lot of kids' careers.
Oh
you
yeah,
know and without it, we wouldn't have none of these kids.
yeah, exactly. So how it all started. I mean, we could go all the way from when Matthew first started talking. It wasn't mommy and daddy; it was motorcycle. Like he was just motorcycle, motorcycle. The funny thing about it, though, he didn't know how to say motorcycle. So like 18 months, he started yelling "dicka dicka da, dicka dicka da." Like, what is this kid saying? And he was saying motorcycle. That's how he said motorcycle.
I love it.
And I had this Buell XB12, and I mean he was a tiny thing, and I had it running out in the backyard. I think it was changing oil or something, and he's like, "Dada, motor, dicka dicka da," and I was like, "Yeah, you can get on it." So I put him on this thing, right, and I started it up for him, and it had this D&D exhaust. The thing's so loud. And he gets on it. And the first thing he does, he grabs the throttle and it's full blast, right in the rev limiter. I'm like, oh my God. So I shut it off. And he's like, he's just laughing and thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like, that probably would have scared 99% of the kids out there. He thought it was the greatest thing ever. And I guess that's where it started. And he kept saying he wanted the motorcycle. I mean, he couldn't even ride a bicycle. I mean, he could barely talk. And so we got him on one of his Strider bikes, just let him ride that around. Whenever we were outside or even in the house, we'd let him ride it. And I mean, he's drifting this thing sideways, just going as fast as he can go. And I mean, he rode that thing so much. I mean, I had to change the tires like every 6 or 7 weeks.
Bro, that's riding that thing.
Oh, he was riding the wheels off this thing. I mean, literally. So, and he kept saying, "I want a motorcycle. I want a motorcycle." I said, "Well, you need to learn how to ride a two-wheel bicycle." And he's like, "Okay." Like, I mean, this little guy's trying to reason with me. He's not even 3 years old yet. He's trying to reason with me. So like I ended up, a buddy of mine gave me like a Trek, like little kid mountain bike. I think it had like 10-inch wheels. And I put training wheels on it for him. And literally like within an hour, they were bent straight up because he had leaned it so much and just bent the training wheels. And he's like, take it off, take it off. So I took the training wheels off and he started riding it. Like, at 3 years old, we're going down a bike trail and people are looking at him. They think we're like some circus act because this little kid is just riding a bike and trying to jump stuff and just doing like wild, crazy things. Yeah. And so then, like, I had to stick to my words. We ended up picking up a PW50 and he rode that thing. And, literally it's every day he wanted to ride. And my wife was at work. I worked at night at the time and my wife was working during the day. And so every day we would just get on the PW50, ride around. And like I would sit on the back, my knees were to my ears and he's riding me and we're talking like we always talked. Like, I tell him, okay, now, accelerate, use the throttle, try the back brake here, use the front brake. Like I was teaching them proper fundamentals of riding. Because I don't know if you know, like I used to road race back in the day too. I road raced late 90s, early 2000s. And then I was a motorcycle police officer as well. So, and I was the lead instructor for our police department. And so I understood the fundamentals, but so anyway, I talked to Dave Yakoff as Matthew was getting a little bit older. We did motocross and did some things like a lot of trail riding, a lot of wood riding. Both of us were doing it. Like we would just rip all through the trails behind our house. I mean, we could ride literally out the backyard. And so, we did some motocross stuff and there was a funny story about it. Like his first motocross race I was trying to get him to do, he had a little Cobra 50. The thing ripped, but I had a KTM 250. And I was like, look, I'll race and you race and you can watch me race and you'll see it's not that bad. I went out there and I did like, I don't know, like 4 races that weekend and we had 3 heat races. I had to drive home and I couldn't even lift my arms up. I was so wore out. I was not in racing shape. And, I'm trying to drive home and I just felt bad because he was probably like 5 or 6. And he's just like, what's wrong, Dad? And I'm like, I can't hold the steering wheel. I always had to get him to drive us home. He probably would have done a better job than me. But yeah. So anyway, I talked to Dave Yakoff because Kayla was doing mini GP. She was doing New Jersey mini GP. And so I picked his brain and he's like, yeah, you got to get him involved in this. This is the right way. And I said, okay, well, we went up, we observed. And then, from there, it just took off. They took us in with open arms and we didn't know, but, Matthew's riding with Gus Rodeo, Joe Lamondre, Tyler Scott, Brandon Posh, like all these guys are up there just ripping. And I'm like, who are these dudes? And they were younger, they were younger at the time, but they were fast. Like silly fast. And I was doing like the over 40 stuff. I was riding the TTR and I was going out there teaching him and working with Matthew. And we did, DMV mini GP. We did some Sandy Hook stuff. And we also went down to South Florida during COVID. So we were traveling quite a bit, just doing mini stuff, like as much as we could. And he progressed through that, but then it got to a point where I just needed to put the bike away because he was going pretty fast. And one of the best races I remember is mini GP. We were up in New York, like upper state New York. And it was Ben Glotty, Joe, Gus. It was like an all-star group riding TTR 125s and CRF 100s. And Matthew's out there dicing it up with these guys. At first it turned into a crap show because they were all crashing into each other and everything. And Owen got taken out and it was just a lot of crashes. Well, Matthew and Gus took off and they were battling for the lead the whole race. It's going back and forth. And Matthew really looked up to Gus. Gus was still in Junior Cup at the time. And that was like his idol, So he's out here battling with them. And I'm sitting on top of the hill. I could see the whole track because that track is just awesome. And I remember Gus tried to go under Matthew, and Matthew shut the door on him on the last lap, literally shut the door, on his the guy he looked up to, and ended up beating Gus. And our ride home, that kid, Matthew, I'll look in the, he's in the back of the truck. I'd look in the rearview mirror, and he just had a grin on his face, ear to ear, and that's when my buddy Tim went with me too. And he's always at all the races too, but he's like, I think he's got it, man. He's got that fire to win. And so, that's how we started. It was really mini GP, a lot of mini GP and learning the proper fundamentals. And then we did the original Talent Cup on Nua Valley's. They were Nua Valley, RS 250s, but it was kind of a mix with them and Aprilia, but they were good bikes. I know some people are like, oh, they had Chinese engines, whatever. We didn't have any problems with ours. Ours was reliable, no issues. And I really didn't mess with it. I just changed the oil and put gas in it because I knew once you go into those things, you're going to have problems. So we just followed the rules and Matthew got faster and faster. His first big bike race ever was at Coda during a MotoGP weekend.
That's a big first time.
I was like,
yeah, that's a big first time.
And thank God I had glasses on. I'm like tearing up, man. This was very emotional. This kid's first race is a MotoGP weekend. It was awesome. And then the riders were coming over, the MotoGP riders, these kids is idol. These riders, they would come over and they're sitting on their bikes and talking to them. And it was the coolest experience ever. We really had a good time. And then my buddy Chuck was down there. He wrenches on the bike with us with M4 and also is with us when we were with Vance and Hines. But Chuck's been with me all along. Even Junior Cup when we won the championship, Chuck was my right-hand man. But anyway, Chuck was there and that's a whole nother story. But I don't think Chuck ever got a pass for MotoGP, and he was there the whole weekend. just walking in, hey, kissing babies, waving, shaking hands,
snapping pictures. Hey.
Yeah, but he's a huge asset to Matthew. He's a very good role model for Matthew, and he really helps him debrief after each time he goes out on the track. But yeah, we did that. And so then in 20, that was 22 and 23, they canceled the Talent Cup. I think there was something where they didn't have enough interest. Something happened. I thought it was a great series and it really helped out with developing Matthew. But so a lot of the kids went right in the Junior Cup in 23, and I held him back. I was like, let's get used to this 400, because the biggest bike he had ridden at that point was that, that Aprilia 250. It was a small, light bike. I mean, it was maybe 200 pounds. And I knew the 400 was going to be a lot heavier, and you need to get used to it. And he was still pretty small. He wasn't real big yet. He didn't, he hasn't really started growing. They could barely touch the ground on the 400 that year. And so we did, we went down to Jennings during the winter. That was a great thing because we continued to ride year round. And then we tried to hit every track day and every Weir and Azure race that we could go to in 23. My wife thought I was crazy. I think she thought I was having an affair because we were never home. Like Matthew and I left, but it would be a little awkward having my kid with me, But,
right.
And I would never do that anyway. My wife's the best person in the world, but
she is.
So we were just going. She's like, where are you going this weekend? I'm like, we're going down, Roebling. Where are you going this weekend? Well, we're going New Jersey. We're going to Pitt. We're going. So what I was just trying to get him used to ride it, but I was trying to get used to that bike, working on it too, because that bike's different. They're not the best built bikes, but they're really good bikes, if that makes sense. And he just got comfortable on it, got faster and faster. But you know what we did that year? And this is one of the things that I encourage others to do. I didn't give Matthew any new tires in 23. All I did was I took tires from Rodeo. Like I bought his takeoffs and Gus's takeoffs, and I had Matthew use Gus's used tires all year long. It saved me a bunch of money, but also it made him get used to riding the bike not perfect. I didn't give him a new tire until his first Moto America weekend at Pittsburgh in 2023. I told him, if you could get up to speed and get up to the top 5 in qualifying, I'll let you do Moto America at the end of the year. And literally that kid's like, hold my beer.
Watch this.
He was ripping at Pittsburgh. I mean, ripping. Because there's kind of a funny story with that. We did an N2 track day, and I was like, hey, he's riding intermediate, but he's passed everybody. Can we move him to the advanced group? And they're like, well, you got to get with the coach. I said, okay, no problem. So I put him with the coach, and the coach follows him around. And I'm not calling this coach out, so don't get mad at me because I'm not going to say your name, but he was on an R6, and Matthew left him on his 400, on his Ninja 400, left the guy. And then the guy came over and kind of gave Matthew some crap about, riding too fast. I said, well, that's why we're trying to put him in this advanced group, because it's dangerous in the intermediate group. And I'm not saying anyone's better than anything. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he was just going really fast, and he was coming up on people that he probably shouldn't have in different places. And he really just needed to rip with the faster people. And so it was just kind of funny because that coach, I think he got his feelings hurt because Matthew left
humble pie. Yeah, he had that big old dose of humble pie. Yeah.
He had his vest on and everything, and this kid just ripping, So the guy kind of caught an attitude with Matthew, and at the end, I was like, because Matthew went by somebody and he waved because he's a nice kid. He waved. He's like, I'm sorry, I passed you kind of close, right? Well, I think the coach thought that he was like being rude to the person. He's like, no, I waved to him to tell him like, it's sorry, I didn't mean to pass you that close. But, I had to go that line because I was going so fast into the turn. And the coach came up and he's like, you didn't have to be an asshole. And I'm like, whoa, like, whose kid are you talking to?
Right.
And I mean, if my kid's being a jerk or whatever,
it's different.
Right. But he wasn't. And so I talked to Matthew afterwards. I was like, were you being a jerk to somebody out there? He's like, no, I just waved to tell him, sorry about passing you so close or whatever. But I think that coach was just getting into his feelings a little bit, but it was just kind of funny, like that, he just started really getting fast, and I was proud of him because his first weekend at Pittsburgh, he got in the top 5 and Junior Cup, and we were just there for the experience. We had no expectations, and he's out there battling with Eli Block, and and Batty, Levy Batty. And after a long time, we're all friends now. And then we ended up racing the next year with Eli, because Eli was like, who's this kid? He's fast as crap. I want him to be my teammate, And so that's how we ended up with Barcon and meeting Colin, and just what an experience. So anyway, we go into 24, and Matthew finally started to get new tires. So he's realizing that there's a lot more grip out there. But it just won the first race in Junior Cup that he, that year, and down at Road Atlanta. He actually passed Ryan Wolf for the win on the last turn going onto the straightaway. I thought it was Eli. Like, I was cheering, like yelling. I was like, yeah, Eli, because Eli went into that last lap leading. I just thought he won, and I was excited for our teammate. But then it took me a second. I was like, that's Matthew. What just happened? Because I didn't see it. I wasn't by a screen or anything. I was holding the pit board. But anyway, then everybody's like, hey, you got to go up to the podium. What are you doing? Quit running around like an idiot. Go up to the podium. Because I didn't know what to think.
You're like, wait, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it's like, awesome. So we went up there, and then, we ended up becoming friends with the Wolves after that. Like, it just, the community started to build, and friendship started to build. And really, like, we went that whole season and just made a lot of friends. It wasn't, you would think, like, as he was starting to run away with the points, like, people would be upset. No, we actually made a lot of really good friends in Junior Cup, which was awesome. Like the Dreyers, we got to know them really well. I mean, we did mini GP with them as well, but like racing at that level and competing with them, that was a lot of fun. And then when Ella and Avery were on the podium together up at Brainerd for the first time, Matthew was on the podium with them. And that was an awesome moment. And unfortunately, their dad passed, but that was a memory. And that was a memory like we all had together. And that was pretty awesome. Yeah, it was really awesome.
I was good friends with Aaron, obviously with Ellen and Avery, still to this day, right? Yeah, man. I remember Aaron cooked me breakfast at Road America. He was out there cooking breakfast and come up and gave me a big hug. He says, "Are you hungry?" I says, "As a matter of fact, I am." He made a great egg sandwich that was delicious. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Like he had a different personality, but I always got along with him. Like
me too.
It just from the get-go, like I think I first met him. We were doing some mini stuff, and we were up at like Road America, and I met Aaron up there. I think the first time. I knew who his kids were, but I didn't meet him. But I got to know him up there a little bit, and like we hit it off pretty good. Like we had a lot in common. And but anyway, yeah. So we, the loss of Aaron really was tough that year, and I think Avery showed some leadership there. I think Ella's a strong girl, and I'm really proud of them how they handled this. But I couldn't imagine what they had to go through. But that. They're good kids, and I've always rooted for them, and I've always gone on my way to say hi to them when I see them. And John's doing a great job helping them out, and they're in a good spot now with the team that they're on, with Melissa Paris's team, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's great to see, right? It's honestly, I thought that when I heard the news, I was like, because I'm friends with Ellen and Avery. Obviously, I knew that it's devastating, but I was like, dude, this is probably got a lot of fire in them that they never knew that they had, and it's either going to make them or break them.
Yes.
Right. So obviously it didn't. It made them, right. They're still there. So it's good to see, man. It really is. And just to touch on your point, it's the beauty for a beautiful circus. What I call it all the time, dude. You meet the most amazing people in the world. In full circus, right? All because of those 2 round black things we call tires on a motorcycle, right? I mean, it's the bike. It's I do want to touch base. I want to take it back for a minute. Letting Matthew race on used tires his whole life until he got in Moto America. That was an absolutely amazing move. And what brought that idea up besides saving money? Was that all the get go? Was it just, hey, I can save some money?
Number one, budget, but no. So honestly, I talked to Kevin Rodeo a lot about it and asked him his opinion on how we should handle this and which ways we should go. And actually he helped us a lot with setup and guided us to Mike Skoronik, who built our bike, our Moto America bike, and actually is our crew chief right now. But so Kevin's like, heck yeah. He goes, I don't give, Gus new tires. And he's like, just use these. but literally like every weekend I was buying his tires, and it really helped his development because as a tire goes off now in twins, he can still ride. Like if you notice, like Matthew's lap times stay very consistent, and he's actually pretty fast at the end. Where everybody's tires are going off, he's still railing, and because he knows how to manage the tire, he knows how to manage a tire that's gone off and continue to ride fast, and he's not afraid to slide the bike around. And I think that really helped out. I think I try to tell, like when people ask for advice, I try to tell them that, like, don't be afraid to use takeoffs. And honestly, you know, it's a two-way street. You're helping the Moto America rider because you're throwing a couple bucks to them for their tires, which it's really not that much because $50 a tire is nothing, right? When you're paying over $400 a set. But then the other thing is you're teaching your kid how to manage tires, how to ride when a tire is not great. And they're learning how to slide a motorcycle, because you've got to be able to do that. Because as you go faster, the more the bike's going to move. And it shouldn't scare you, because like when you have the best of the best with the best tires, the suspension's perfect, everything, and you have those great first 5 or 6 laps in a sprint race, like a club race, that's great because you had maximum traction. But when you come to a Moto America race and you have 13 laps and that tire starts to go off a little bit after about, 9 or 10 laps, you still got to go fast if you want to try to win or at least be on the podium. And if you don't know that feeling and it spooks you, it's gonna really slow you down. And so yeah, that was some really good advice that I got from Kevin Rodeo, and I think everyone should try that. Like giving your rider that you're trying to develop the best of the best all the time when it comes to tires, I don't know if that's the best thing. I mean, if you can afford it, I guess it's okay, but it's okay for them not to have a perfect bike. I mean, I'll go even deeper in this if you want. You know what I do to him? I'll go back to like 23 and 24, 25, even last year I did this. So we have a good base setting. We'll go down to Jennings. Like we'll leave our stuff down in Florida, and we'll either fly in and fly out, or we'll drive down. If I have time to drive down, I'll drive down, pick him up at the airport on the way down, and then because he had school, he was still in school. So what I would do is we had our base setting written down. I knew what it was. I knew what worked at Jennings. But then what I would do is maybe take all the preload out of the bike, and he would
not tell him.
Not tell him. But like, hey, go, I'm trying something. I'll just tell him I'm trying something new. But he started catching on after a while. But I remember one time he goes, "What was that?" I'm like, "Yeah, what'd you feel?" It felt like crap. I'm like, I can't fix crap. Tell me what crap feels like. And he's like, well, it just felt like I had no support on the shock. Like it was just like, on the front end, I was hitting the brakes and it felt like it was just slamming on the front. I was like, well, maybe we need to add some preload. And that's how I developed him to be able to give us feedback. And I did it with rebound. I did it with compression. I messed with him. And same thing with gearing. We mess around with gearing quite a bit too. Like where I would throw him a bike that was way too tall. And I'm like, well, how's the bike feel? Well, it feels slow out of the turns. I said, well, what do you think we should do? I don't know, make it go faster. I'm like, well, how do we do that? Tell me how to, But so that's some of the stuff we did. Like I tried to get him to be able to tell us what's wrong with the bike and not settle with the bike just being okay. The bike needs to be perfect. And if he doesn't come in and say, hey, the bike's perfect, or if he does come in and says, hey, the bike's perfect, Dad, it's perfect, then why aren't you breaking the track record? Because if the bike's perfect, then you should be going really fast. So we're always trying to find the next, just a little bit better. But yeah, when we go down to Jennings, I usually try to get him to get us back to our settings and the one that I know works. And sometimes he'll even take us a different direction. Like it'll be even better. So then that's our base setting next time. And then I try to get him to get us back to that. And then if he can get it better from there, I think that's a good way to develop kids. I don't think you could do that with a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old, but I'm talking about a preteen and an early teen. Do that. And as adults, like you and I, it's okay to do that with us too. But we'll probably freak out more than a kid because we can't ride through it. We'd be like, oh my God, this is terrible. I got to get a new bike, but yeah, I mean,
It's
that's
his
what I,
takeoff. I swear, that's exactly what it is.
yeah. So I mean, that's kind of the way we went about it, and it's worked for us. Yeah, I mean, this year's been tough. This year we've had our ups and downs, but I mean, overall, he's gotten better. Like I think he's better, and I think he's going to be better because he's had to deal with a lot of adversity this year. And he's had to bounce back from like one race being bad. Like I remember Daytona, like the first race of Daytona, the bike went into a limp mode. It wasn't anyone's fault. The bike just went into some kind of limp mode. Not sure why, but it just did. And we were able to sort it out on Friday night because, it's Friday, Saturday racing. And then Saturday, he's out there battling for the lead. So he brushed it off and kept going. And same kind of thing happened. We blew our canister off, on our exhaust, which was the most bizarre thing too. Again, no one's fault. It's just, I guess, heat cycles got to it or something, and we lost power in race 1. Race 2, he ran away with it. So like, he's able to just get over it. And like I said before, like Matthew played football, and we always taught him next play. If he threw an interception as a quarterback, that play's over. We're going to the next play. You need to have a short memory, and we I think that's going over at the racing as well, where he has a short memory. He just goes to the next race, goes to the next warm up, goes to the next practice. You can't sit back and go, oh, that first race was terrible. No, you got to just go to the next race and try to win that one. And I think he's very good being able to do that. And I think in the future that will help. Like when we go to Super Sport and Superbike, he can brush that bad day off and go to the next race and go back out there and compete again. Because I mean, you saw it at VIR. I mean, race 1, we had how many restarts? 3 or 4 restarts, and he was out front every time. And then our bike got hit with debris, and we had a hole in our radiator, the most bizarre thing ever, and ended up overheating. That was like, that was tough. And then we put another motor in the bike, fix all the problems. And he's out there battling, for the lead again. Like he was in that front group, and he actually was running a really fast pace. And that's when he had that fall. That was probably his worst crash I've seen. He had another bad one earlier in the year up at Road Atlanta on a track day, but that was just a weird situation that happened. But yeah, that fall and the fact that Owen Granoff caught that the way he did, and that's his buddy. Like to be able to hold the camera as your buddy is just getting run over by his bike and high side into the moon. That was just a gnarly crash.
It was incredible. Since we're talking about it, let me ask you this. What was it like for you emotionally to see that as a dad?
I always have a positive outlook, and I was like, he's fine, but I didn't know. And I looked over at my wife, and man, her eyes were bloodshot and tearing up. And I'm like, oh, this is not good. I need to take her over to him now. And I mean, I jumped on we had a Sur-Ron right by, pit out. So I grabbed the Sur-Ron, put her on the back, and I ripped. I mean, I was that jerk. I was that guy going through the pits at 55 miles an hour, whatever it was, through the grass, jumping stumps, whatever. I was going. Get over there. And he's like, I'm good. And I couldn't believe it. So then I put him on the Sur-Ron, and then my wife rode on someone's golf cart, and we ended up going over to medical after he took his stuff off. He wanted to take his leathers off and kind of look over everything. But it was emotionally, it was tough. I was worried. I'll be honest with you, because I saw the crash, because the footage was right behind him on Moto America, and I saw it happen. And before he hit the ground, I was moving. And I just think instinctively, that's what I do too. I react to any kind of situation like that. But I don't know. I mean, there's a good note. There's 7 million views on Instagram of that crash. 7 million views.
That's crazy.
That is unreal. And like I was trying to fathom like how many people that is. That's more than the state we live in. That's a lot of people that have looked at this crash. So I guess I guess it's a good thing. I don't know. I mean, he's okay. The bike really wasn't that bad because he absorbed the energy of the bike from hitting the ground, because landed on him. But the bike wasn't too bad. I talked to Chris Ulrich. What day was it? I guess last Thursday maybe about it, and he was like, "Yeah, man, the bike's not that bad. Like, normal stuff. The tank got damaged though, but we're going to replace the tank. But it was just normal crash stuff like body work and clip-ons, rear set, that kind of stuff. It wasn't anything major. It's not like frame or not even like the engine smacked the ground. It was just the bike basically rolled over him, and he absorbed the impact of the bike. But he he did hurt himself like in a bad spot. Like
A lot of sleepless nights for sure.
yeah, you can't wear a cup on a motorcycle if that tells you where he hurt himself. But he's doing better now. Like, but I told him, I said, you need to go get looked at.
Yeah.
As much as it's embarrassing or you don't want to do it, you got to go get checked out, make sure everything's good down there. And he ended up going over medical, and they looked at him, and they're like, he'll be all right. He's just got some bad bruising, but and his hip, you saw a picture of that. His hip is still pretty ugly. It's every color you can think of, in the rainbow right now. But we're going to New Jersey this weekend. He's going to ride this weekend, so. Yeah,
I
man.
can't wait. I'm super pumped to see you guys this weekend coming up. And, I just want to speak about the crash too, again, real quick. I couldn't imagine like going through those set of emotions when that happens. But also at the same time, as soon as you see him and he gives you that thumbs up, it's like that whole weight of emotions that you felt at that very instance probably dissipated just as quick as it fell upon you, right?
Once I knew he was okay, yeah, like, and I talked to him, it was good. That ride from, you know, pit lane over to turn 3 was probably the longest ride ever. Even though I probably made it there, I think the dust didn't even settle yet by the time I got there, but it that was a long ride. And knowing my wife's upset, I just knew we had to go over there. And honestly, like if it was something bad, that I would have helped out too, whatever. But I'm very thankful he was not hurt or badly hurt, because that could have been ugly. And then Bodie crashed in the same corner the next lap.
Yep.
Same exact thing.
Corner, dude. Same thing.
Yeah, and Bodie smacked his head and hurt his hand. And like I felt horrible, but I don't know. I kind of had a thought about this. Like you would think like the corner workers would have blown, because I saw them blowing out the water out of the curbing after Bodie's crash. But I wonder, why didn't they do that before the race? Or I'm not blaming on the corner worker. I'm talking about in general, like everyone should have looked at it, because they know they're going to use the whole track, especially at that pace. You're going to use as much track as you can. But both of them didn't know there was water in those curbs, and unfortunately they caught it, and it tossed them. And both of them are fortunate, because it could have been much worse. But because that's a fast turn,
dude, it's super fast turn. And the way it had rained, and that's the thing about VR, it dries so quick, and over the curbing, the way it's painted, dude, it's hard. If it's got moisture in it, you can't see it, right? And even Matthew said that when he was taking that corner, he used every single bit of that for the corner speed to set up for that exit coming out to 4, right? So it's just part of racing, right? But it is crazy how Bodie come back around the next lap, very same corner, went down. I was like,
he crashed as we were pulling off of Matthew. Like I saw him flying in the air, and I'm like, oh my God, like what is going on in that corner? Because I assumed that's what it was, but I didn't know. But then talking to Matthew and then talking to Bodie, they both hit water in that corner. And I don't know, it would have been nice to get some kind of notice, like over the radio or something, that we could have just said, hey guys, stay off the curbing. The curbing's holding water right now. But they didn't know, we didn't know. And honestly, in hindsight, I would have been like, stay off the curbing. But you know what? That's hindsight. Anyone can play Monday morning quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it was preventable, but it's just, thinking it through, I just wish they knew, because they would have stayed off of it. But we're fortunate both riders were okay.
110%, man. 100%.
That's what's most important.
Dude, facts, right? It's and being a racer dad also has its own different set of emotions that come along with it too, as well, right? You guys, dude, went from Vance and Hines. Now you guys are on the M14, still in the Twins Cup class. Coming from Junior Cup, which Matt was the champion in 24. It was an honor to be there at Mid Ohio, right? I was like, let's go, bro. Yeah, I'll never forget that. the highs are highs, the lows are lows. But talk to me about, what a racer dad does as Matthew has made his rank through the paddock right now, right? Obviously, your role is basically still the same because you're totally wrenching on the bikes, right? But as you go up in levels, like what's it? How different is it? And explain to people what your weekend job actually entails as a race dad.
Well, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. Like, because so what we try to do is we try to get to most of the tracks and tests, or at least get them on them prior to the Moto America events. Like we'll do a club race or even a track day. I prefer doing club races over track days because you just don't know the level of riders and how they separate them. And it's nothing personal with anyone or anything like that. But trying to get up to pace on a track day is harder than a race day, because race day, at least you got qualifying and you can get out front or whatever, and you can compete. The cool thing about ASRA is they treat Matthew really well, and they always have. And I really appreciate that organization. And Weir too. Weir, like when he was younger, Weir was like, hey, he can come ride with us. Weir was awesome. But so Weir is doing more stuff in the South, and Azra does more stuff in the Northeast. So we've been really staying with Alex and Azra. But Alex will let Matthew start in the back of some of these races, and like Cole Varnes, like it helped him out, and the McKellar brothers, like it helps them as well. But we'll start in the back and then chase down the leaders, and it helps Matthew learn where he can pass on the track. It also, when he catches the faster group or the leaders, it also shows them the lines he's taking and how to get faster around the track too. And all those guys, like the McKellar brothers and Cole Varnes, they'll tell you like them being there helps them out too. And there's no like personal feelings. Like honestly, I don't expect like to get the trophy or whatever. I mean, yes, it's an honor to win whenever, but if we're not following the series as much as we can, because like there's a lot of overlap with testing and everything, I don't mind like not being scored for Matthew. I want him just to ride the track, but riding with those faster guys, the ones I mentioned, really helps him out, because they go out there and they try to battle with them, and sometimes they give them a hard time, but also it's helping them get faster as well. And then those kids, I mean, really, every kid, they're all over in our RV hanging out with us. And, hey, what do you do with this? What do you do with that? I mean, we tell them most stuff, but not everything. But, yeah. But no, they're always picking each other's brains, and it's great. Like, that race community is still the same. Like, and all those kids I just mentioned, they also did mini GP. So we've known them forever. I mean, we've known them since they were little knuckleheads, like little guys.
And they still are knuckleheads. What are you talking about, right?
But, yeah, so as a race dad, I mean, it's tough because it's a busy schedule. And then, like, the time I get to the track, I'm working till the time I leave. Like, I help set up with the team. Then when we finally get to getting the bikes out, we go over the bike, make sure everything's good. And then, we go get tires or tire stickers, tech, like all the stuff that you have to do. And I don't really get stressed out about it. I just want to make sure the bike's the best it can be. And I have like a certain routine, and I'm sure you've walked by when I'm doing it. Like, so Mike Skronik's our crew chief right now. And he basically, goes over the data, goes over what settings he thinks we should be on, like gearing and all that. He'll talk to me about what our tests showed. I usually share that information. We'll have a sheet of what we did, and then we'll discuss it. And then really Matthew makes the ultimate decision, like what gearing he wants and how he wants the bike to handle. And so then Chuck and I plug that in. Then Mike comes back, double checks everything we do, which you can't have feelings in this sport. Like if you're working on someone's bike and you're getting double checked, get over it, because you have someone's life in your hands and you got to do the right thing. And there's no feelings with that. Like what I'm saying, there's no emotions. Like no one gets upset. Like if I check something that Mike did or Mike checked something that Chuck did or fight any of that, it's all good. Checks and balances are important. And keep that in mind. If you have more than one person working on your bike, it's okay for the second person to go check what you did. It's nothing personal. And then during the race, I'm usually in the pits with Mike, and then Chuck does the pit board. And so Matthew comes in, he has like so in qualifying or something, he comes in and he needs something changed. Like I'm usually there. I can change the tires on the 8R like there's no tomorrow, man. I don't need quick change stuff. I know that bike so well right now. Like I can rip. Because remember last year when we were riding with Vance and Hines, we changed the tire with like 6 minutes left in qualifying, and he ended up getting pole down there at VIR. But like he came in and weren't even sure he was coming in. He's like, because they were on reins, and he's like, put me on a slick. There's a dry line. Like, all right, we'll put you on slicks. And we were like wrenching as fast as we could. And we got him right back out there, and he ended up setting pole because of it. I mean, his time was super fast, and it was just, that was a good call by him. But thank God we had tires on tire warmers just in case he came in. But when he came in, we were like, oh man, it's time to work. It's changed over the years. Like in 24, when we were with BarCon, Chuck and I were basically running the team, and then Eric Block came a few times too, but we were running the team, and we were kind of making the calls. But we also had Mike Skoranek and really Kevin Rodeo on speed dial if we needed anything. And they were a huge asset. But I did learn something that year, that Matthew and Gus weren't the same, but they were consistently different. What I mean is, and so Gus, say his gearing was 1643, Matthew was 1642. No matter what track it was one tooth different. And then suspension wise, Matthew was different too, but we've always been able to go taller than everybody else because his corner speed's so fast. That reminds me, like, so our leather company in 24, Bison, I was like, hey, do you guys have any more of those elbow sliders? And they're like, what? They're not elbow sliders. I'm like, yeah, they're wore out. Like we need to replace them. and Rob is like, dude, that's like for like if you crash, that's not for like dragging your elbow. I said, well, we need some. And Rob's like, I'll see what I can get, but we never had that problem before. I'm like, yeah, he's dragging his elbow real bad. It was mid Ohio where he like went through his leathers and heated up his arm a little bit, but yeah. But yeah, as a race dad, I mean, number one thing is I try to make sure his safety gear is ready to go. And then the bike is ready to go where everything's tight. There's nothing loose. Like I go through with Allen keys and go through the clip-ons, the rear sets, the subframe, just everything. And I do like, I go right side, top to bottom, back up, and I do the body work too. And then I go back and I do the same thing on the other side. And I make sure everything, nothing, we don't need a stupid error and something falls off, because if something falls off, ends your race, you're done. Like, the shift linkage or something like that. So that always gets checked. Everything gets checked before he goes out. Honestly, like I didn't expect to wrench on the bike last year, but somehow I ended up wrenching on the bike. They just like, hey, what are you doing during Daytona? I'm like, oh, probably sitting up in the stands with my wife and hanging out. And they're like, we need you to wrench on the bike. I'm like, really? Yeah, we need you to help out. I said, okay, because they had a lot going on. They had baggers and stuff like that. This year, it was just part of the deal. John Aldrich asked if I'd be willing to wrench on the bike and help out, because it would just be a lot easier. Matthew's comfortable with our staff that we have. He said, just bring your group in. So we brought Mike in, brought Chuck in, and me. And it's just that's a good group. I mean, we work good together. I don't remember ever having a disagreement with those guys. Now, I'm not saying we don't always agree on like tire pressures or something like that, but I'm talking about a disagreement where somebody gets mad and like storms off or anything. That doesn't happen. We're not there for us. We're there so that Matthew can be the best he can be and try to give him the best product out there. 100%. And I mean, and the bike's been running good. Like the last few weekends, I mean, our bike's been pretty fast. Chris has done a lot of work on the dyno and really, found a little bit of power, and he's doing a lot of stuff to make that bike good. And I'm happy with that. And, it started off a little rocky, but I don't think it was really anyone's fault. It was just, we had some electrical issues that were just gremlins. You know how that goes. It's just, and so we've sorted it out. And, I know they worked hard at the shop to sort it out, and that bike's ripping right now. And Matthew's really comfortable in that bike. He's been on it now for 2 years, so he knows it really well. And it's set up the way he likes it, not the way we like it, the way he likes it.
I think it's the full package, right? It's Matthew. It's the team he's with. He's comfortable with everybody. It's the complete package, really, if you think about it, right? It's those important puzzle pieces I'm always talking about that have to be into place, and you got to have luck on your side too. We can't forget about luck, because without it, nobody's winning, right? So,
Hank had some luck down at VIR when
100% Hank.
Oh my God, I was like, he fell off,
He did.
and then we go another lap, and then who was it? Somebody else fell off. Oh, Logan Cunnison fell off.
Logan.
And then Hank was able to get in and get his bike fixed and restart, and ended up getting, I think he got second in that race. But I was like, my God, that kid has some luck this year. I just knew it was his year, because he was having really good luck every weekend, and things were working well. And I think his crew did a good job. I'm happy for them. There's no hard feelings. Like we're all friends, and we check on each other. Hank comes over and hangs out with Matthew. They're buddies. They're on the track. They're competitors. Don't get me wrong. Like everyone's a competitor on the track, but off the track, they're cool. Like Matthew had that terrible time race 1 at VIR. And really, I saw a lot of character out of him, and I was really proud of him. But his bike overheats. He DNFs the race. Hank wins the championship because of it. And Hank's on the podium. Matthew goes over and stands there and congratulates him. And I was like, that's awesome character. I mean, and I'm proud of that. That's what I wanted to raise, a kid like that, because the emotions were there. I mean, I'm sure 2 minutes before that he was pretty upset, in the holler, but I was pretty upset. I mean, I went over there too. I kind of was off to the side watching, and I saw that was pretty emotional, and that's part of being the racer dad too, is not only being part of the race community and making sure everything's good with the bike and all that, but also making sure your kid's a good kid. That's what's important with us. Treating people the way you want to be treated, and showing respect to everyone in the paddock, no matter who they are. And that's who we are, and that's who we try to be. And I'm not about drama, and I like getting along with everybody. And I think Matthew's better than I am at it. Like he gets along with everybody, man. That kid, he's friends with everybody. I don't get it.
He's just a butterfly, right? Yeah, no,
he really is. Like he just gets along. I don't. Growing up, I don't think he's ever had really an enemy. He just fits in. He has a lot of really close friends, and there's just not much drama with him. And I'm proud of that. And that was probably my wife that did that, made him like that kind of kid. I'm it's not me.
Oh no, he is definitely part of you too as well, and it speaks characters of, and I've told you this, right, off camera, it speaks characters of who you are, Phillip, as a person, and it just shows through Matthew, right? Same thing with, I like to think with Rossi, right? People say that about Rossi. He's just this happy-go-lucky kid that smiles and takes phones and takes pictures with all the women now and all that stuff, right? So yeah, it's
and he still loves his dad because he came in and gave you a big hug, and that's important.
Loves dad. That's the most important thing, right?
That's awesome. Hey, I got a question for you though.
What?
You're interviewing me. I'm gonna interview you right now.
All right.
So when you started announcing races, and I was there when you came down to Daytona, how do you like doing that? And what are the things that, like, no matter what you do, there's always some kind of fear or something that you're worried about. Tell me what that fear is, and then go into how you like it or dislike it, because I've been there a few times when you've been announcing, and I think you do a great job. So
I appreciate it, man. It was funny. So I'm just gonna tell the story real quick. It was me, Matthew, Demario, Ryan Wolf, Matty Salam, and somebody else. We were standing there at Jersey. I think it was 24. We're eating pizza. It was the end of the weekend, and we're all talking about the announcing of Moto America. And Matthew and them look at me. They said, "Dude, Simcoe, that's what you need to do." And I just laughed and was like, whatever. Maybe one day, who knows where this is going to lead, right? Kenny Abbott hits me up a couple months, like a month later, and was like, "Hey, I got this gig at Daytona doing some announcing. I can't pay you. Our contract's already signed, but I'd love to know if you'd be interested in coming down and try to announce at Daytona." And I was like, immediately, yes, let's go, right? Because I can't say no. I done told you that, right? I have a hard time saying no. So I was like, let's do it. Man, I showed up, bro, and I just remember I had the outfit on. I went to the bathroom, I took a selfie, and I sent it to my wife, and this is exactly what it said. I said, "What the fuck am I doing here?" Right? LOL. I'm nervous as shit, right? Like, I don't even know what's happening. And my wife was just like, "You got this. Just go out there and be you. You got it," right? So after that weekend, man, it's hard to put in emotions how emotional it was for that weekend for me because it's something I never dreamed I'd be doing, much less podcasting. But I knew most everybody there, and to see all my friends come off the track winning and interview them and feeling the energy and seeing the eyeballs and just everything that goes along with it. It's something I've never done before, right?
yeah,
Actually, right there at the time. So dude, it hooked me. I was like, dude, this is one of the greatest things ever right here. Fast forward, Azra Scott hit me up and was like, hey, we'd like you to come out and announce for us. So my first gig was at CMP. Of course, I said, yeah, but I got to do it by myself. I don't have nobody there. It's just me, right? So yes, I get there on the drive there, Philip. I'm like, doubt myself. I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Right? Like, what is this? Can I do this? Like, this is crazy. So I show up and basically I just told myself when I went to the bathroom in the morning, if I went in the booth, I said, dude, Simcoe, you got this. Make it your own. Treat it kind of like a podcast and just have fun with it, right? Like just
yeah,
be you. And man, it gets easier and easier every time. Now I'm really super excited to do it every time they ask me to do it. And every live one, I say, man, I sit here and it's an honor to be here from everybody from Azure. And I keep thinking to myself, man, why do you guys keep calling me back for this, man? Like, let's go, right?
yeah,
Dude, it was a lot of self doubt, dude, because it's completely different than podcasting, right? Podcasting, we're talking, we're having conversations, blah 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 blah. Announcing when you do it by yourself, it's obviously your knowledge of the game too comes into play, right? But I
yeah,
think what really helped me out too is I was already friends with most everybody there that weekend, so it wasn't like I was in a new place with a bunch of new strangers, and that
yeah.
helped
That's
me
a
out
good
a whole
point.
lot, right? So I was already in my environment, and I was already comfortable with everybody around me. It'd be different
Yeah,
if I went somewhere like Indy and I don't know nobody, and I don't know shit about Indy or any of that. Then I'd be like, right? So honestly, dude, it was just like once I started doing it and talking, man, it was just like it's over with. I was like, what? The day's over with right now on our last race of the weekend already? Like this is crazy. I take it back to where I came over my fair heights. I went skydiving to come over my fair heights, right? I did the most extreme thing you could do. Looked at it straight in the face and was like, I got you. You don't have me no more, right? So I kind of applied that to myself going into this. And as always, I just tell, man, for me, it's the journey, right? It can
yeah.
end at any moment. You never know when it's going to end, right? So it's just an honor to be able to do it every time I get on that microphone and start talking, man. And then N2 reached out to me, and I went and did the endurance races for them too as well. So never even talked to anybody at N2 before, right? So
That's cool. I knew you did that, but then I had forgotten because we weren't down there for that weekend. But yeah, I was there for your first one, Daytona. When you came down, I was all excited about it. I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, I know that dude.
yeah, it's
And
it's it's
it's cool because you know all the players, you know all the riders, you know the ins and outs, and you can tell the story like why they're on the track. Hey, I know this kid because he did this.
you
Like
know,
that's important. It's important to know your audience, and also important to know the people you're representing. And I think you do a good job with that, and actually an outstanding job with that. And it makes it makes the weekend more fun. Like I just remember that Daytona weekend. It was fun because you're like, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
We were just laughing. We were like, yeah, that's Chris.
Dude, I can't help it, right? It's just the energy. It's just,
Yeah,
I
it's
do, I
like,
love this sport, bro, right? And I never, again, dreamed I'd be doing this right now, much less doing that. So it's,
yeah,
every time I show up, man, I just enjoy the shit out of it, bro. Like, and it does. You're right. It just goes back to what I was just saying earlier. It's like I'm comfortable around you and Matthew and all my other friends in the paddock, so it's not like a bunch of strangers in an unfamiliar sport that I have nothing, no knowledge of, right? It's
yeah.
yeah,
It's
and I just try to make it my own, right? Like with Azra, I was like, hey, I'd like to get the riders up here. Maybe I know I don't have time to interview all of them, but first place, let's get them up in the booth. Let me put the microphone and interview them live on the screen. Same thing with the live chat. I told him, I said, hey, how cool it would be if I can actually see the comments on the YouTube live. So as I'm announcing the races, I can talk to the audience too as well and make just like my pod. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm kind of transforming it in my own way and kind of a live race podcast announcing sort of speak, right? Just doing
yeah,
my own thing, right? So it's an honor, Philip, and it's just
yeah.
a journey, right? I mean, yeah, dude, it's a lot of emotions and a lot of self doubt at first, just like with anything, right? But dude, you
Yeah, I
gotta.
mean, I get it. Like I never expected like Matthew to be racing at the level he's racing at when we started this journey. I get it. Like I never expected to be turning wrenches for some of these big teams. Like, it's amazing. Like, I'm just I was just a country boy from Maryland. Like
Right?
I like we're still the same people. It's not like we change. It's just I'm having fun with it, making the most of it, and enjoying our time while we're doing it. And it's been a good family experience too, because my wife's so into it too, and even the dog gets upset when she doesn't get to go. She wants to go. She'll be there. Lexi will be there. Make sure you come over and say hi to Lexi.
Oh, I
She'll
will
be
for
over there
sure.
all excited about racing.
Good. Yeah, I can't wait. I actually want to get to a couple of these comments real quick. We got the man himself, Dakari. What is up, Dakari? Phil and Simcoe. This will be a chill night for listening. Appreciate you tuning in, my friend. Dude, I've
I
been
like
trying to
Dakari.
get Dakari. Dude, I love Dakari. Dude, K Tech. I give K Tech a shout out every podcast. They're, with me is I don't want to say this. People assume that I make a lot of money. Dude, I don't make shit doing this podcast. I pay. I'm like a racer. I pay for all this. I pay to stream. I pay Podbean. Like I pay to do this, right?
Yeah,
And I'm big on supporting those that support you in the sport, right? Dude, K Tech and all my friends, they support me. So I'm always like, dude, I gotta support them too as well, right? That's why every podcast I shout out to them all the time. It's something to be said when you meet really good people. And it's hard in this world to meet really good people. It seems that within this beautiful paddock circus, there's a lot of those really good people in it, right? Not everybody, but there's a lot of good ones.
there
And when
is.
you find them, you hold on to them and you value them
Yep.
deeply, right? So yeah, big shout out to Dakari and everybody at K Tech, man. They're every time they see me, like I walk by, if I don't say nothing, they're like, "What, Simcoe? You don't love us no more?" and all this. And I'm like, "Yes, come here, give me a hug, baby, let's go." It's yeah, dude, fantastic people, bro. But
Yeah,
Dakari,
we've always kept our relationship with them because we ran K Tech in 24, and they're still close to those guys. Every time I see them, like go over and talk to them, like they're just good people, and Takari and I have a lot in common. So
yeah,
kind of
Dakari is
do the
super
same.
cool.
We did the same job for many years. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm trying to get him to sit down with me, Dakari. Finally, maybe one of these years he'll sit down with me. Don't worry, we can pre-record it. We don't even have to do it live, right? That's what I
we
keep
can
telling
do it
him.
live. That dude, he knows how to talk.
I know he does. I know, and and I feel like too when I get like new people that's never come on the podcast, I don't. I want to immediately invite them, but what I do now different than what I used to do is instead of just like immediately trying to grow it and get everybody on, which obviously I want everybody to come on, but now I establish a really good friendship with each and every single one of them before they come on the podcast. That way, we've been friends for a while, right? Maybe it was 6 months, 8 months, right? But we've been friends. We see each other all the time, and that way, when we do sit down, it's actually a genuine conversation. It's not.
Yeah,
It to me, it's more deep than just having somebody on my podcast, if that makes sense, right? Um,
yeah, absolutely. Everyone's comfortable with the conversation. It makes it go a lot easier and a lot smoother.
110%, man. 100%. And we got Ben Lee, dude. Good evening, dudes. Finally got a chance to watch a few minutes. Always a mega awesome job, Chris. Thanks so much, Ben. I love you, buddy, for sure. And then he says, what happened to his hair? Bro, long story. Rossi's had his hair since he was 6. He's 13 now. He come up to me and mom about she's probably about 3 months ago, said he's done with it. He wants to cut it off. So we actually made him wait right before school started to make sure that's really what you want to do because you've been putting a lot of work in his hair, right? And yeah, the day before school, he's like, "Yeah, I'm done. Let's cut it off." So we said bye bye hair and donated it. So
That's cool.
yeah, dude, yeah, it's well, it's the same thing, man. I like to give back, right? Like even with my clothes, dude. Like I don't go to Goodwill and give my clothes to Goodwill where they're just going to turn around and sell it to people. I go down to the literally the homeless shelter with bags of clothes and was like, look, I got shorts, pants, sweatshirts, jackets. It's
Yeah.
all yours. It's everybody's. Here it is. Have a great day, right? Because they need it. Goodwill don't need it, right? Because they do it for profit. I want to do it to just spread the love and give it to people that are less fortunate than we are, if that makes sense. So Sammy says VR also leaks through the cracks pretty randomly. I ride there often, and when it's super hot, like it was, water seeps. Sadly, yeah, because it's humid. VR. That's the thing about VR too. It's freaking humid, especially in August. I always said, why
Yeah.
don't Moto America move it to earlier in the year instead of so hot, right? Like
Yeah.
move
Like
Atlanta
April or
around,
May.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
switch right Atlanta around,
Rhode Atlanta's hot too at that time.
right? Or Jersey, right? Switch it with Jersey or somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we got Colin Barton. What is
I
up,
like that
man?
guy. My
Yeah, I like
favorite.
him too. He says that Chapin kid is the full package, super talented without an ego. His old man ain't a bad dude either.
Colin's a man. He's been with us since the beginning. Colin really, I mean, he's like Matthew's second dad. He's a great guy. There's not too many people like Colin in this world. I'm just telling you. He's been there. I talked to him yesterday when I was outside working on the bike. He had some crazy stuff that happened, and then we were talking guns because
We love guns. We're America, right? Everybody loves guns.
it,
We all love
yeah,
guns.
yeah. He
That's something
happened to
we.
get one that I have, so it was cool.
Oh, nice. What'd he get?
It was a Ruger carbine. It's kind of folds up. It's real nice. It's just a 9 millimeter, but it's a rifle, and they're pretty cool guns. And he's like, "Hey, I got this really cool gun." I'm like, "I got one of those." And I'm not a huge gun collector, but by chance I have that gun. But you can use Glock magazines
Yeah.
in that carbine rifle, which is really nice, and it's compact. So like I do private security right now for my real job, and it's a good weapon to have that you can conceal and still use the same magazines that are in your handgun.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big gun advocate. My dad, of course, being in the military, he's always been a big advocate. So I got my love for guns, and I did the same thing with Ross. I got a video of Rossi being in diapers, taking apart my 9 millimeter, cleaning it, and putting it back together. No bullshit, dude. Right? That's how big of a gun. Because I was always, my dad always like, I'm gonna teach you gun safety. That way, if you get one of your knucklehead, that's what I always called my friends, your knucklehead friends, and his knucklehead dad didn't put his gun away, and the kid knows where it's at. At least you know how to be safe with it, right? And I was like, and that's where I get it from. So I just replicated it to Rossi. So yeah, I bought Rossi his first AR when he was 7, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I got videos of him out there shooting it, loading the magazines, everything. Right, let's go,
Matt
America.
Matthew goes hunting all the time too. Um, I bought him a 350 Legend last
Nice.
year, and he hunts with that because we're a shotgun county, so either shotgun or you can use the center fire rifles, and so he uses that 350 Legend. It's pretty nice.
Yeah,
It's better than my gun. I just carry a 12 gauge when I go deer hunting, but yeah, I mean we have so many deer here where we are because they've overdeveloped and there's just deer everywhere. I mean, we have them in our front yard last night that were all over the place. Just, I mean, there's just packs of them. And one day I was out there hunting behind the house. I saw 30 deer just walk by, 30 of them. And I'm pretty choosy. I don't just randomly just shoot every deer. Like, I'm trying to get the big buck and take my one and respect, the resources and things like that. But, and we eat the meat. I mean, that's what we eat, a lot of venison. So
yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
I mean,
I like.
Matthew enjoys that. I mean, we kind of live in the country, like in Maryland, and like all his buddies have pickup trucks and they all like fish and hunt and stuff like that. So it's just funny because like before Matthew was born, I was a police officer in Baltimore, and I worked in the inner city, and then Matthew really never seen the inner city until we started traveling a lot with Moto America and stuff. And he's like, "Wow, this is not like home," because I was like, it was a good talking point to just make you appreciate what you have, but also respect other people for what they have, and it's pretty eye opening, like especially as we're driving in New Jersey because there's some pretty rough areas we go through.
Millville, let's go, right? Yeah. Let's go, baby. That's where we're going this weekend. Yeah, it's funny because my dad's parents are from Bayonne, New Jersey. So I remember going there my whole childhood, shoot, up until when my dad passed away 5, 6 years ago. Shoot, has it been that long already? Maybe even longer. Anyway, man, I used to love going there, getting the Broadway bagels, man. Block down the
Oh
street
yeah,
from my grandpa's house. Go down there every morning, get a, well, everything bagel with sausage, egg, and cheese, and the orange. Dude, it's nothing like, man. Jersey, there are parts of Jersey that are great. There are parts of Jersey that are like, oh, did I just go back in time? Like, well, what is
yes,
this?
that's how
Right?
when we drive through Salem, there's like this motel, or it's a motel, but it's pretty rough, and like there's drug dealers out there and stuff. And like when Matthew was little, we were going to mini GPs. Like, are we in Salem yet? He'd wake up, because he always sleeps in the car, and he'd wake up and like look around, like thought that was the most amazing thing ever. It's like,
See the circus in the drive. Ooh, look at that clown over there, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just just wild stuff.
Yeah, man. It's you know, one question I do want to ask you about being a race dad, man, is what's the emotions like of working on your son's bike week in, week out, and being the sole responsible of sending your kid out there on it?
I mean, it's stress. It's absolute stress because you don't want to mess up. And I mean, regardless, even if I was working on somebody else's bike, I would still have that same stress because I want to make sure it's right. And because you're the last person to put a wrench on it, you're responsible. Um, I mean, it's definitely a roller coaster. I mean, there's highs and lows. I mean, the year in 24, I mean, he didn't have one DNF. The bike was good. Everything was good. And we went through our checks and balances. It just seems like as the bikes get faster, they get a little bit less reliable. I don't know. Like, um, there's more electronics on them. Like, there was barely any electronics on the Kawasaki Ninja 400, whereas you get in electronics and anything could go wrong because there's just so many different things. But with the electronics, you definitely have more data, and you can learn more about what the rider's doing, what the bike's doing, and you can make things better, easier with those with the electronics. So I mean, there's good and bad. Um, I mean, there's more to it, like being involved and being the father. Like, I'll tell you something crazy. Like, no one really knows this. I haven't talked about this. So at VIR, Matthew said, "Hey, Dad," before race two, he said, "Hey, Dad, can you check my airbag?" No, I'm not. I don't remember. We charged it this weekend, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll check it." So Superbike's out. We're in the next race, and so I pull out the charger for the airbag. It's dead. So I plug it in real quick, give him a quick charge as fast as I could, put it in right before he goes out, and then he has the most horrific crash he's ever had. And by chance, we caught that, and that airbag saved his tail. So yeah, that was pretty emotional. Like just thinking about if we would have missed that, and I try to put some of the responsibility on him with like charging things and stuff like that, but he that was definitely one.
Yes. What?
Do you have $2 so I can buy 600 R6
Do I
credits?
have $2? It's always
No,
you
no,
hear
no.
this kid, dude. It's always how much money did I give you the other day?
Money from your car?
Yeah, listen, I do got $2. I got it in my wallet. Go grab it
Mm, I'm like on your card because I
on
need.
my card. Okay, here we go. Yes, you can have $2,
Okay, because I need buy 600 R6
but
credits.
you got to mop and sweep.
Mop and sweep.
Yep,
Okay,
sweep and
I
mop.
got mom a new vacuum.
All right, there you go.
All right. But I don't know if it'll work. So maybe after the podcast, you might have to put your card back on there because you
Oh
deleted
yeah, I
it.
deleted it. Yeah, I will. As soon as I get done, I got you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome,
No bear. Gotta go.
It
Walk away.
never ends.
bro. It never ends, right? But it's cool. I don't mind because, he does.
That's what he's told, right? And that helps out.
Yeah, little dad journey on my end. Like, I'd be on him like, dude, you keep telling me you're gonna do this, but it's like 3 or 4 days, and you ain't still done it yet. And this is when I used to vape, right? Because I used to vape.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, Philip, and he says, "Well, you keep telling me you're gonna stop vaping, but you don't do what you tell me you're gonna do." And I was like, dude, he just like totally freaking called me out. Like, so I said, you know
Yeah.
what? You're right. And in order for me to expect you to be a man of your word, I absolutely got to be a man of my word. So as soon as I hung up the phone, I was actually at work when he had called me, and that conversation happened. So as soon as I got home, I gave my vape, my batteries, all my juices, and threw it all away, and never went back. So yeah,
Good for you.
I had to make a point to him, right? So that's where all this kind of started of the chores and kind of doing all this. Even though I was trying to work into that, right? Some kids tend to take it more than others. So yeah, Dakari said roadblocks. You already know, Dakari. You already know. Or Fortnite, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a big dad moment for me too. Is him calling me out on my bullshit, right? Because we
Yeah.
all do it, Um, and so that was yeah, I enjoyed that, man. I really did because it made
You know,
me.
the one thing I don't do at the track, I don't sit there and pester him. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. I have a responsibility to make sure the bike's good and make sure you know whatever we're getting ready to send him out on. I don't really talk to him a whole lot about like he goes to his crew chief. He goes to Mike. I don't have those dad conversations during the race weekend. Like maybe we get back to the RV, I might have a dad conversation. Hey, Dad, what do you think of this or what do you think of that? Like, but during a race day, it's business. It's not. We're getting after each other. It's not. You didn't clean your room. It's not. You know, there's no drama with it. I just stay away from all that. Like we don't have the dad son relationship when he's during the race day. Like we only that's after the weekend or maybe we'll have dinner together or something like that at the track or we'll go out and get something to eat. But that's when we'll just have a more relaxed conversation. But for the most part, I don't play dad during the day because I just think that too many people like live through their kids, and I try not to do that. And I don't want to be that pestering dad, just asking dumb questions all day long. It's just there's no reason for it, and he doesn't want to. He don't want to hear me be dad the whole day. Like
No.
I got a role, and I got to stick to my role. But I mean, if he needs emotional support, that's one thing. But it doesn't happen. He's a big boy. He knows how to handle himself, and if he needs something, he knows I'm there. But I don't play the dad role in the pits. I'm not like jumping people's throats for this or that. That's not our place. We try to be very professional when we're at the track and we're racing, especially the Motor America weekends. I mean, the club weekends are more relaxed, and I'm the one usually wrenching the whole time. But we try to come in with a pretty basic setup and just let them rip some laps. But if we're testing, then I'll do a bunch of changes. But if we're just like this coming weekend, he's going to try a super sport bike for the first weekend, first time ever, and we're just going to have fun with it. Just let him go out and rip. And if he needs a change, we'll change something. But hopefully it'll be good, and we'll just go out and just let him fly around because this is going to be the fastest bike he's ever ridden.
He'll adapt to it really well. And we're saying all this, being a parent, as our time's always a thief, right? So we blink, they're born, we blink, they're running, we blink, they're freaking got girlfriends or whatever it is, right? It's being a parent is you're growing with your child, but you're also growing to teach them to live without you, right? Because there's going to become a time and a moment where you got to step back completely, and there's a team that's going to pick them up and do everything, and you're just going to be in the stands with me, drinking a beer, laughing and joking around, right? So there is a different side of emotion that comes with that too, being a racer's dad, because you're not only dealing with your son growing up and you're teaching him to be this brilliant young man that he is because of you, because you're a brilliant man, right? But uh, you add in the whole racing element to it, and you're seeing it play out live in front of you, but it's happening super quick, right? But showing up to the race weekend, you're already doing that disconnect for a period because you're stepping away, letting the crew chief handle everything. You're just
Right.
focusing on the bike, and then when he needs you, you're always there for him, right? So emotionally, as he's been getting faster and climbing the ranks, has that been hard for you to deal with mentally?
I mean, not really. I'm allowing him to grow and be independent, and I want him to be. Like honestly, like if we were on a team and they didn't need my help, I would be okay. You know, I don't need to be in the pits with him. And honestly, like I didn't expect to be doing this the last couple of years. I don't mind doing it, and if it's in his best interest, I'll definitely do it. But I don't. It's not about me, and I'm okay stepping away if that day comes, and I'm sure my wife would love it too, because then I could be hanging out with her and enjoying watching the racing. So whatever, I'm ready to accept whatever comes my way regarding that, and I think that Matthew would be okay too because he's pretty independent already. Like he's always been pretty independent, and he's confident. And so I think as long as he has a good crew around him, I think he would be okay. He's played sports for different coaches and stuff like that, and it's always excelled and never had really any issues.
Yeah. Phil, Colin says, Phil isn't a racing dad, as they're usually giant pains in the ass. Phil and Maddie are like best buddies, and it's heartwarming to watch it work. It is. I've
Wow,
known them for,
that's pretty touching, Colin.
dude. It's absolutely. You in order for, I think that the future legends of the sport, as I always call them, to grow and to mature. It's good to have a set of parents that step back and let them figure it out to them on their own, so to speak, right? And handle it their way and take a
Right,
step back, even though I know there's times you want to jump in and chime in and do this and do that, right? But that's part of being a dad and being that growth. And I'm growing too as well. And you're growing from this too as well, right? So,
right. Yeah, I think so. Um, for many years, I coached football, high school level, and also youth level. And I dealt with those parents that people automatically assume everyone's like. I've dealt with those parents that are just a pain in the butt. And I purposely try to make myself not that person. I don't want to be I don't want to be that dad, that race dad. I want to be Matthew's father, but also I want to be the guy that's helpful and is a team player. And that's how I go at it. And I don't go at it about me or just about my kid. Like, you know, we try to help the whole team with stuff. Like if we discover something, I mean, we found something at Mid Ohio, and we were quick to share it with the rest of the team. So all the Twins riders were set up very close. Um, I, I I don't mind doing that. I mean, that's what it's about, being part of the team. There's no secrets, but yeah, I purposely make myself not be that race dad because you see it. And I'm not calling out any names, but you see some people that are just too involved and just making it not fun. And I want it to be fun for him, and I want it to be fun for all of us, and I want the best possible outcome. But I don't want to be considered that race dad. And if I am, I want somebody to say, "Hey, you're being that dude," and then I'll take a step back and be like, "Yeah, you're right." But I I make it a point not to be that person.
yeah, I think it's every time I walk by, it's nothing but positive energy and smiles, right? I love it, dude. Again, it's the sum of the whole picture. It's dude, great kid. That's super fast. That's an absolute legend. Even though he's like, dude, I'm not a legend. I'm like, bro, dude, there's a million kids, right? More than a million kids right now. I'd love to be where you are right now. So yeah, they got your posters on the wall. Think about that, right? Like, let's go.
Yeah, we appreciate every moment of it. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
dude.
it's been fun. It's been a fun ride, and just make the most out of it, and try to be good people. I mean, that's our goal. We just want to be good people, and we want to have fun, and we want to be the people that others want around. Like we don't want to be the guy that just has a bad attitude, or the racer that thinks he's just the best thing ever. Like, you know, when Matthew takes his helmet off, I still want him to be that same kid or that same young man that respects everybody around him, and has a conversation. And if someone comes over and says, "Hey, can I get your autograph?" I want him to go over and say, "Yeah, no problem. What's your name?"
Yep.
And I think he does a good job at that. I mean, actually, he surprised me. Like some of the interviews and stuff that he does, I'm like, wow, like where did that come from? But that's something that's important to us, like teaching them how to do public speaking and things like that early on, and have the confidence to do it. And you reflected on that too. Like you just got to say, Chris, let's go. Like let's do this. And I think when he started doing well in Junior Cup, he was thrown to the wolves. He had to come up with it. I remember his first interview was not very good, but he went back and analyzed it and said, "This is what I should have said, and this is how I should have said it." And then everyone got better and better and better. And that's how you have to self-coach yourself. You got to learn from, not necessarily mistakes, but how you did something and how to make it better. And I think we all try to do that. But I think, I'm proud of him to be able to interview the way he does. And I think that's a great asset of Matthew. And wherever he goes in the sport, he takes that with him. And maybe when he leaves the sport, maybe he can be a spokesperson for a company or something like that, or, a fire department or police department or whatever, because everybody needs a good public speaker. And I'm telling you, it amazes me because I had to do something on the news one time and I totally screwed it up, like so bad. I got yelled at by my bosses and it was bad. And it was bad. So, but like he doesn't make those mistakes. Like I guess because I told him about those things that I did that I messed up. But yeah, I messed up one really bad one interview.
Is that
uh,
still out there where people can see?
it was on national. It was on
Oh, it
like
was
DC
on
News,
TV.
man. It was bad. It was embarrassing.
Oh my god.
It's
That's
just
what
it wasn't wrong. It's just I shouldn't have said what I said, and I didn't know, like, because I was talking to one person. I didn't realize like it was going to be all over the place, and I definitely said the wrong thing. And my bosses are like, "In the future, don't say that."
you're like, did I really say that? Oh shit, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't tell you on here because
No,
I got yelled
yeah,
at
it's
for.
all
But I'll
good.
tell you. I'll tell you another day or
That's
one
hilarious.
on one.
This
It's pretty
weekend,
fun.
yeah, that's hilarious. But again, it's part of growth, and I tell my friends like this all the time. Us as humans, we evolve and we grow every day. We don't know everything, right? So
Right.
we're always changing our thoughts and views and opinions, and yeah, it's just what it is, right? You just gotta make the best of it. So, man, well, listen, Philip, dude, this has been a lot of fun, dude. We're almost an hour and 30 minutes into this
Whew,
podcast, bro. I know it goes
that's
by
my
so
bedtime,
quick, dude.
man.
I know it's almost. I got an hour before, well, about an hour and a half for my bedtime. So, listen, man, it's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you and Matthew this weekend coming up, and of course, I'll be at Jersey at the end of the year, and then we'll see each other again at Azra at the Race of Champions. I'll be there announcing too as well. So, yeah, man, it's a lot of fun. I'm gonna let you in the podcast. Of course, everybody. Joshua James. Hey, race dads. Hey, Josh. What's going on, buddy? Um, obviously, social media is just Phillip Chapin wherever, Facebook, Instagram, all
Yep.
that good stuff.
Yep. Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, and then I run Matthew's Facebook page, Matthew Chapin Racing, and then he runs his Instagram.
Yeah,
So his Instagram is Matthew Chapin Racing as well.
yeah.
But yeah, jump on board and maybe be and we can get up to 8 million likes on our or on that crash. That was just crazy. I didn't think it was going to take off like that, but that's crazy. I guess it was pretty amazing to see that footage. But yeah, I have to say, Owen OG Media, man, he crushed it on that one. That was a hell of a video.
It's one of those. I don't want to say once in a lifetime shots, but it was once in a lifetime shot because he was at the right place, right angle, right moment in time. Right? It's
Yeah.
yeah,
But you
dude.
know what else? Let me say one thing about Ellen. Not only did he take that video, but he helped Matthew get the dirt out of his eyes because he was dumping water in his eyes, and he helped him like to the side of the track, and he went from being that photographer that caught that great shot to being a good dude and helping Matthew out because he didn't know how bad he was, but he just knew he couldn't see because he had dirt in his eyes because his visor had got knocked up. But yeah, it's like that's what friends are for, man, and they're really good buddies. And for him to catch that shot, it's like the stars aligned. It's just I'm really thankful that Ellen was there to help out. And Ellen's he's a good kid, and we've known him for a long time. He traveled in 24. He traveled with me as I was driving out because he was homeschooled, and then Matthew would fly out and meet us at the track. But Ellen was like my kid, man, just traveling with me. It was cool.
I love it. I haven't met Owen yet. You're gonna have to introduce me to Owen. I'd love to sit down with him and have a chat with him too. Dakari says, "Be safe, guys. See you all this weekend. See you, my friends. Safe
All
travels."
right, see you at the car.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to introduce us, dude, for sure.
Yeah, I
100%.
will. I'll see if he'll come down this weekend. I'm sure he'd love to come down if he's not doing anything.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, listen, people, Moto America last rounds at New Jersey last weekend, if I'm not mistaken. If you're around Millville, shit, if you're anywhere on the East Coast, what are you doing? Show up that weekend. Make sure you go for the fan walk, the pit walk. We get all those pictures of autographs. Make sure you stop by Info and get that picture and with Matthew Chapin and the autographs and all that cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys have any merch out there for sale to people too as well?
Well, it's funny. I'm wearing the latest shirt. I don't know if you can
Oh,
see it.
go. I
Yeah,
love it.
this shirt. This is my favorite one. It's like the blue camo. Anna Otis came up with the design, and then Jose, um, who makes our shirts down here in Maryland, but he's the one that made them. Like he got them out pretty quick. They're pretty awesome looking. But yeah, I think we're gonna have we'll have some of these shirts. I don't know how many we're gonna have, but we'll have some. And yeah, stop by and see Matthew. I'll make sure he has some with him, and you can get them. And we'll have some hats. You're wearing one of them right now. Yeah.
And the shirt.
Yeah, I mean, we'll be over, the Team Hammer M4XR Suzuki tent, and come over and see us and say hi and come talk to us and pick our brain a little bit and come check out the bikes. The bikes are pretty cool over there. We have every class. I mean, we have a Talent Cup, we have 3 twins bikes, Super Sport, and Super Bike. I mean, we have just about every class covered. And, it's a cool team. There's a lot of work going on under that tent. There's like teams within teams, and it's pretty impressive to see how everything works and how everything flows.
It is. It
Um,
is.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So I guess to end it, like I can't say enough for our safety gear. The RST suit, man, it saved his butt. The gloves, yeah, that suit right there saved Matthew's butt. It did. The Arai helmet did its job. Awesome job. The Alpine Star boots, second to none. I mean, he didn't even hurt his ankle at all. Like he hasn't said one thing about his ankle. Like there's no leg injury at all. The bike hit him, and that airbag did its job. If you're going to ride, you should have, and you're going to be on a track, you should have an airbag suit. I'm telling you, it saved my kid.
Yeah, dude.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. I guess I just want to thank all of our sponsors that we have. I mean, we have a list of sponsors, but like Road Racing World, that's awesome magazine. Make sure you at least get online and read it every month. It's awesome. I'm just trying to think. STG, they've been with us since day one too.
They got the new Rodney Vest shirt out, dude. Have you seen that? Let's go, baby.
Rodney Vest, he's crazy, man. He's so funny. I like him. He has so much energy. That was awesome. That interview was awesome. Everybody was like, Colin Barton, hats off. That he's been such a huge help for us with racing, and he's such a fan. And I mean, he was on here tonight. He's just a good guy, and he's really helped Matthew, through the years. I mean, he put Matthew on his team unknown. Like he basically interviewed me over the phone, interviewed Matthew over the phone. Like, what do you guys, how are you guys? You guys any good? Eli said you're kind of fast. What do you, and from there, like I talk to Colin almost every day. He's a good friend. He's a good guy. Like I like him a lot. And he just has the funniest stories too. Like he calls me and tells me these wild stories. And I just like I hang up with him and then I think for like an hour. I'm like, wow, that was pretty bizarre, but yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah. Barcon Racing. That's where we all started. And he's brought some really good people through the ranks with that team. They were big time in Junior Cup. But he still helps us out now, and he helped out M4 this year, and that's huge. He doesn't have to do it, but he does it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so just again, just want to thank each one of our sponsors. I mean, Team Hammer for being there for Matthew. I mean, in 2024, they had us come down and test. We went down to Coda and tested on the Twins bike, and Matthew did really well down there. I think he finished fifth in both races, first time riding a twin. And I mean, John and Chris have been there, supporting Matthew all along too. And they've showed a lot of interest in him. And then, I just want to say I hope Bodie's better for Jersey, Matthew's teammate Bodie, because he crashed in that same corner. But, Matthew and Bodie get along really well. And it's been nice having a teammate on the same bike, and they can go out and, compare data and work with each other, help each other out with one struggling. The other one helps the other one get faster. I know Matthew helped Bodie at VIR, kind of helped him with some of the lines, and Bodie was ripping. I mean, he was leading, and then he fell off. He was Bodie's a fast rider.
He is fast.
He's incredibly fast, and their family, they're fun, man. The Australians are fun. That's just a fun family. I like Jake. His little brother. He's a wild guy. He's fun.
Have they got you to try Vegemite yet?
No.
Oh,
yeah. No, not yet.
You should try.
No, they're always in the trailer, like trying to get Oreos and stuff. Like,
of course, they're kids, right?
Up in their face with Oreos. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, then they'll go run 3 miles. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I appreciate everything, Chris, and thank you for having me on here. And I wish everybody a safe and enjoy the rest of their season, because we're all out here together working hard and racing and helping each other. And if I'm ever at a track and you need help with something, don't hesitate to ask. I've been wrenching on these things for a little while now, and I kind of know them, especially the Suzukis. I mean, I feel like I could work on them when I'm sleeping.
Remember, people, the secret is take all the rebound out. That's all you got to do. Take it all out. That is the secret to winning these races right there. There you go. You heard it first.
I definitely told my secret, huh?
Yeah, you spoiled that one right there. Let's go.
I messed that kid so much. He's like, this bike just sucks.
I wonder why, right?
What happened to it?
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Well, with you saying all that, I got a couple things I want to say real quick is, listen, if it wasn't for you, Phillip, and everybody coming on this podcast, I wouldn't be sitting here. So it's nothing but love to each and every single one of you for all the likes and subscribes and views. Matter of fact, I just hit 20,000 downloads today. I hadn't put the little badge out, which just blows my mind, right? And remember, people, it's because of you. It's not me. It's each and every single one of you. Big shout out to Road Racing World. It's important that everybody goes and donates to the air fence, because without the air fences, guess what? We're not racing, right? Big shout out to all the corner marshal workers too, because without every man and woman out there being a corner marshal, again, we wouldn't have no races.
Yep.
Touching base on the airbag, yes, you got to have an airbag, but you got to have that custom suit to put that airbag in, right? Not that off the rack suit. Do yourself a favor, get you a full custom suit. It's a game changer. Same thing with the undersuits, right? Your Nikes and your Under Armour. It's not the same as a 64-degree racing or a Venom Undersport. It's not even the same league. My new helmet gig, big shout out to Kubota helmets. They're FIM homologated. It's the only FIM helmet that has the MIP system built into it. It's the only helmet that ever fit my head straight out the box all the way around. It was kind of weird feeling straight out of the gate. But if anybody's interested, KubotaAmericas.com. I don't know if he's going to be at Jersey. I've seen his schedule. I don't think he's making any more rounds of Moto America this year, but I know he'll be at Daytona in March for sure. But you guys can go to KubotaAmericas.com and check them out. I got a lot of helmets: Arise, AGV, HJCs, blah blah, all the A's and the C's and the B's. Right. Every time I leave my house now, this is my go-to helmet I always grab instead of all those. So I'm gonna do a helmet review. I know I've been talking about it for a while. I've just been so freaking busy. Like I record a little bit here and I kind of record a little bit here. I just need to sit down and finish it. I wanted to, put a good 4 months, 3 months into it and actually really wear it and ride it, and before I gave an honest review on it instead of just getting it after 2 weeks and be like, yeah, it's the greatest thing ever and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
Right. I want to call out what I think's bad and call out what I think's absolutely amazing. Right. So yeah, I can't wait for that. But Phillip, dude, if I don't stop running my mouth, dude, I'll just keep going, man. And I'm gonna go hang out with the family. And Rossi's getting ready to open the door and ask for those $2 again. Watch what I tell you here in a minute. So, listen, this episode will be out before I go to bed tonight. So I'll work on it. Give me about 30 minutes to be on Spotify. I'll tag you. I'll send you the direct link and all that. One thing I do need from you, Phillip, dude, you got to text me your phone number. I thought I had your phone number in my phone, but I don't for some reason. So you have to. Shoot me.
All right. Well, don't be drunk texting me late at night.
Oh, dude, that's exactly why I want it, dude. What are you talking about? Right? Yes. Anyway, Phillip, dude, give Matthew and Jody a big old hug for me, and yeah, I'll see you guys this weekend, my friend.
All right, sounds good. Make sure you give him that $2.
Dude, I'm on it. Trust me, right now.
All right, see you, man. Right. Thank you.
See you, bro.
All right, bye.
Calling all two-wheel enthusiasts, get ready to rev up your earbuds with Pin the Gas Podcast, the ultimate motorcycle racing podcast, hosted by Chris Simcoe, one of our very own excellent leaders here in Roanoke, Virginia. With expert analysis, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive writer interviews, Pin the Gas Podcast delivers the adrenaline rush of the racetrack straight to your ears. Whether you're a diehard fan or a curious newcomer, you'll gain insights that will transform how you watch and understand motorcycle racing. On your favorite podcast app, join Simcoe as he takes you on a high-speed journey through the world of motorcycle racing. Pin the Gas Podcast.